Riyadh Metro Phase 1 is the world's longest driverless metro network. Certified by Guinness World Records in January 2025. 176 kilometers. Goa for fully automated. Operating in 45-degree summer heat. That network took a decade and $22.5 billion to build. And every lesson learned, every system that failed, every component that survived the Saudi desert, every supplier that delivered, is now sitting in a database at the Royal Commission for Riyadh City. When RCRC wrote the requirements for Line 7, they didn't start with a blank page. They started with 10 years of operational data. That changes everything about how you read the supply chain for this project. In the next 8 minutes, we'll show you exactly which subsystems Line 7 demands, what the desert environment means for supplier selection, and the one supply category where the Phase 1 experience creates a structural advantage for the incumbents and a very high bar for anyone trying to break in. Let me quickly establish the Phase 1 baseline, because Line 7 supply chain does not exist in isolation. It exists as an extension of the world's largest automated metro network. Phase 1 used 3 rolling stock families. Siemens Inspiro, 74 trainsets on Lines 1 and 2. Siemens also supplied TrainGuard MT CBTC signaling for those lines. Alstom Metropolis, 69 trainsets on Lines 4, 5, and 6. Alstom's Abalis 400 CBTC manages signaling on those corridors. Hitachi Rail supplied CBTC for Line 3, alongside Bombardier rolling stock. 3 OEMs. 3 CBTC platforms. All running in parallel on the same city network. For Line 7, RCRC has a choice. They can extend one of these existing platforms, reducing integration complexity and leveraging proven components. Or they can bring in a 4th OEM and manage a new interface with the existing network. That choice, and the technical interoperability argument, is one of the hidden scoring factors in this evaluation. Before I go system by system, I need to talk about the factor that makes Riyadh's supply chain requirements fundamentally different from any European or Asian metro. The climate. Riyadh regularly exceeds 45 degrees Celsius in summer. Surface infrastructure, viaducts, elevated stations, track work, signaling housings, bakes under direct sun for months at a time. The thermal cycling between summer peaks and winter nights creates mechanical stress that simply doesn't exist in temperate climates. Phase 1 revealed some of this early. Rolling stock air conditioning systems had to be re-engineered. Station HVAC units, designed to European specifications, were undersized for the actual heat load. Electrical enclosures required upgraded thermal management. For Line 7 bidders, desert rated is not a marketing phrase. It is a technical requirement in the contract. Every supplier in the ecosystem, from rolling stock to signaling to escalators, needs to demonstrate validated performance in ambient temperatures above 45 degrees Celsius. That requirement alone eliminates suppliers who have only European or Asian metro references. And it gives a structural advantage to the companies that already have equipment running on Phase 1. Now let's go system by system. Starting with the civil works, because 47 kilometers of underground tunnel through Riyadh's geology is the project's highest risk delivery. Riyadh's subsurface is dominated by limestone and gypsum formations, with sabkha salt flat zones that create unpredictable ground conditions. Phase 1 used herring-necked multimode TBMs in 010.25 m diameter for Line 1, capable of switching between EPB and open-face mode to handle the geological variability. For Line 7's 47 km underground section, the TBM supply market looks like this. Herring-necked, the Phase 1 incumbent. Proven in Riyadh-specific geology. Samsung CT used their machines on Line 5 and set a world record for daily excavation. That reference is hard to argue with. CREG and CRRC, China's 2 dominant TBM manufacturers. Aggressive pricing, high global volumes. CRRC's presence in the Line 7 consortium makes CREG to CRRC a natural supply partner if CRRC wins. Robbins and NFM, strong alternatives for hard rock and mixed face conditions. For NATM and specialist geotechnical works, the materials market is more open. Sika, BASF Construction, DSI Daiwidag for ground anchors, Epiroc and Sandvik for drilling equipment. This is the section that determines which OEM leads the winning consortium, because rolling stock and signaling are where the margin lives and where the interoperability argument is strongest. Line 7 requires Goa for fully driverless operation, the same level as Phase 1. The trains must be desert-rated, air conditioning validated above 45 degrees Celsius, electrical systems hardened against thermal cycling, dust ingress protection to IP65 standard or higher. For competing OEMs. Alstom, their Metropolis platform already runs on lines 4, 5 and 6 in Riyadh. The desert validation is done. Their Abala CBTC is also proven on the network. If Alstom wins line 7, RCRC gets a fourth line running on the same platform as 3 existing ones. The operational and maintenance case is compelling. Siemens Mobility, Inspiro runs on lines 1 and 2. TrainGuard MT CBTC is proven. Same argument as Alstom but from the other side of the existing network. Siemens partnered with FCC in their line 7 con. Sorsham, FCC led the lines 4, 5, 6 civil works. Deep institutional knowledge of RCRC's procurement style. Hitachi Rail, Sailtrack CBTC was deployed on line 3. The next generation 5G integrated version is their line 7 offering. Partnered with LT, one of the world's most capable civil contractors, and with Kalyan and CNGIs, who have substantial Saudi Arabia execution presence. CRRC, the disruptive play. No Phase 1 presence. But CRRC is the world's largest rolling stock manufacturer. Their metro platforms are operating in over 50 cities globally. Their IKTVA story, potential local assembly in Saudi Arabia, could be decisive if their pricing is aggressive enough. Let me run through the remaining major systems quickly, because each is a significant supply opportunity. Traction power and electrification. Riyadh Phase 1 runs on 750 VDC third rail. Line 7 will use the same standard for network compatibility. Traction substations, third rail conductor systems, and power distribution, Siemens Energy, ABB, and Cetera are the primary Tier 1 suppliers. Fura Plus Fry is the specialist for third rail systems specifically. HVAC and station ventilation. This is where the desert factor hits hardest. Phase 1 required significant HVAC upgrades post-commissioning because original specifications underestimated the cooling load. Line 7 specifications will reflect those lessons. Howden, Daikin Applied, Train, and Carrier are the capable suppliers, but desert-specific project references will be heavily weighted. Automated fare collection. The Riyadh network uses the DARB integrated ticketing system. Line 7 stations must be seamlessly integrated with existing GAFC infrastructure. Cubic Transportation, the likely incumbent system integrator, and Scheidt and Bockmann are the primary suppliers. The integration requirement effectively makes this a sole source negotiation unless RCRC decides to refresh the platform network-wide. Escalators and elevators. 19 stations, extreme heat, heavy passenger loads. Conair, Schindler, Otis, and TK Elevator are the capable suppliers, but desert-rated certifications and local service infrastructure in Saudi Arabia are the real differentiators here. Platform screen doors. Goa for driverless operation requires full-height PSD. Nabtesco, Favli Wabtec, and Manusa are the global leaders. All 3 have Middle East metro references. Integration with CBTC is critical. The PSD supplier typically follows the signaling OEM. Now I want to go deeper on IKTVA, because this is the supply chain factor that is least visible to international teams but most consequential for the bid outcome. IKTVA, In-Kingdom Total Value Add, requires contractors on major Saudi government projects to demonstrate a minimum percentage of value creation within the kingdom. For Phase 1 OM contracts, RCRC set a minimum 55% local content requirement. Line 7 design build is expected to carry a similar or higher threshold. What this means in practice for each consortium. Alstom already has a rolling stock maintenance joint venture in Saudi Arabia, the Alstom Saudi OJA partnership from Phase 1. That industrial relationship represents genuine IKTVA. Their Webuild civil partner has deep Saudi execution history through the Nesma relationship. Siemens has established Saudi industrial partnerships through the Vision 2030 industrial program. Their FCC civil partner, who built lines 4, 5, 6, has Saudi-registered entities and de-established local supply chains. Hitachi Rail's consortium includes Al-Bawani, a Saudi construction firm, and the Turkish EPC contractors Kalyan and CNGIs, who have Saudi Arabia execution presence. But the IKTVA question for Hitachi Rail specifically is, what percentage of the rolling stock and signaling system can be locally produced or assembled? CRRC's IKTVA story is potentially the most interesting and the most uncertain. If CRRC can commit to Saudi Arabia rolling stock assembly, potentially at the same King Salman Park integrated manufacturing zone that is being developed, that IKTVA contribution could be decisive. The question is whether they can make that commitment credibly. I promised you the one supply category where Phase 1 experience creates the highest barrier to entry. It is not the TBM. There are 6 credible TBM manufacturers globally. It is not the HVAC. Desert-rated products exist across multiple suppliers. It is the AFC, the Automated Fare Collection System. Here is why. The Riyadh network runs on the DARB ticketing platform, a fully integrated multimodal system covering all 6 metro lines and the 80-route bus network. Line 7 stations must be seamlessly compatible with that existing platform. That means the AFC supplier is effectively determined by the existing system architecture, not by an open tender. Whoever supplied and maintains the DARB AFC backend has a near insurmountable technical advantage for Line 7 AFC. Changing AFC platforms network-wide across 85 existing stations is a program in itself. RCRC is not going to do that as a byproduct of a single new line. For every other supply category on this project, the competition is real. For AFC, the incumbency advantage may be decisive. Speaker looks directly into camera. Here is what you do right now. 1. Go back and watch video 1, the full Line 7 tender breakdown, if you haven't already. Everything in this video builds on that foundation. Link in the description. 2. If you are a system or equipment supplier, every consortium is in active supply chain conversations right now. The commercial bid evaluation is live. If you are not in those conversations, the window is closing. 3. Download the free supplier reference list, 100+ vendors, all 12 subsystem categories, with website links. Subscribe to RailCompass and comment supplier list on this video. 4. Subscribe. Next Thursday, we are going to Dublin. $12.6 billion. $670 million per kilometre. The most expensive metro line ever conceived. And the procurement is about to launch. Riyadh Metro Line 7. The contract award is coming. The supply chain is being